My name is Weapon of Choice, and I'd like to welcome you to another Battlefield 3 weapon review. This time we'll be taking a look at the Scar H, the first weapon unlocked in the Engineer class by accumulating 14,000 points. The Scar H is an interesting weapon, as it performs quite differently from the others found in its class. At minimum range, the weapon does 30 damage per bullet, while at its max, it does 17. With a fire rate of only 600 rounds per minute, the Scar H would do well to avoid close-range engagements. At 1 meter, the weapon's time to kill is 302 milliseconds, pretty slow when compared to virtually every other weapon in the Engineer's arsenal. What's worse is the weapon clearly wasn't made for long-range engagements either, as the initial recoil is set at 1.45, making burst fire somewhat unreliable. Add to that the fact that the weapon can only have a maximum of 21 rounds in the mag at any one time, and one might begin to think that the Scar H isn't worth using at all. Luckily, this isn't true. The weapon thrives at mid-range when there's enough space between the wielder and his enemy that the more frequent reloads are less important, and where the steady fire rate of 600 rounds per minute is a blessing. At mid-range, the Scar is in its element. Although the initial recoil can be difficult to handle, sustained fire finds the weapon at a much slower climb, granting the user much better accuracy where it counts most. As long as the shooter can keep a bead on the enemy, at mid-range, the low recoil of sustained fire and high damage will do the rest. Although the Scar H can be difficult to handle on its own, the heavy barrel can be a great asset. At mid-range, the heavy barrel ensures maximum damage per bullet, although it will come at a cost of higher vertical recoil. In close quarter scenarios, a silencer is a viable option, but the effectiveness of the weapon will be compromised if the battle returns to mid or long range. As the Scar H does have considerable horizontal recoil, a foregrip is never a bad choice. The increased stability it provides will ensure a quicker time to kill, as more bullets will be on target, and, at mid-range, the effect the foregrip will have on the weapon's cone of fire won't be noticeable. For an optical attachment, the reflex sight is always a good choice. Alternatively, the ACOG can be used, but if used with the heavy barrel, the zoomed recoil may prove too difficult to handle. With this weapon, you must remember to keep your enemies at a distance. If you find yourself in tight spaces, taking alternative routes and flanking is going to produce the best results. Face to face, most other guns will have the fire rate advantage over the Scar H, but with a little patience and careful planning, you can dispatch any opponent with ease. The Scar H is a difficult weapon to master, but with enough practice, you'll be glad you did. Thanks for watching my weapon review of the Scar H, and I'll see you on the battlefield.